we got our rebar that we are going to be using for the spindles on the deck. And guys, this transport was so sketchy last night. We literally just use what we have and get it done. And Eric kind of strapped it onto the side. We were so worried about our windows being damaged that we used this blanket and towel. And I mean, this is a rig of a transport. We went back and forth on a couple different options, and this is the one that we think is going to really bring our vision to life in terms of the dome being a little bit more modern and also introducing some industrial materials to it. Today we are going to be working on our deck. We are putting up the rails, and we got some rebar that we're actually going to use for our spindles. And I'm really excited about that because I really have been trying to introduce like some metal and have like mix of materials and have some industrial features to this dome. So I'm really excited that Eric went ahead and actually agreed with me that we should use the rebar. So we're going to get working on this. Eric is already in the trailer trying to find the grinders and all the cutting material we're going to need to cut our rebar down. That's it? And we actually only had to coat these once. They hold the paint pretty well. Everything has been drying really fast and just holding the paint. Even once we move them and they're, you know, slightly not dried when we turn them to spray the other side, we don't have a lot of transfer or anything coming off. So they're really quick and easy materials to work with. We are now cutting the posts for our rails, and this is how Eric is kind of notching them to be able to go on the deck. We pretty much built the deck and designed the rails and the stairs and everything for it. We just wanted to get the dome up before we put the rails and everything on there because we thought it would make it a little bit more challenging to set it up. For this project, you can tell that we are using an assortment of tools, and some projects are just like that. This is a tedious task. That's why we kind of was putting it off. There's a lot of measuring involved and just notching and cutting and trying to get everything to line up. We are getting our measurements ready so we can start to cut our boards that we are going to use to encase our rebar in for the rails of the deck. It is so important to keep measuring. We just put these posts in yesterday and we are literally back today measuring just to make sure that everything goes smoothly today. I don't know what changes overnight. I think sometimes the wood shrinks, or I don't know, with the wind blow, you can be off by a centimeter or so. So it's very important to keep measuring. You will see us doing that all throughout our day. Once we have our measurements down and we kind of get a grip on what we're going to be doing today, we're going to really try to press into this project today and get this done. Can you guys believe that we actually have this entire front section done? That didn't really take us long, but just figuring out what we were doing kind of was the tricky part. Eric kind of envisioned these things in his head before we put them together. I call that little blue book his like blue Bible. And everything we do, he measures out and draws up and have like a reference to go back to. Actually building it and getting it up is totally different than just sitting down and mapping out stuff. So this entire section is done. I can't wait to stain this thing. We're gonna put the kind of handrail on right now, and we still have to put the spindles in. We're using rebar for that, but this thing is looking so awesome. Now that we've gotten into the groove, we're gonna actually just try and cut all of the posts and rails first, and then we're gonna try and just speed through getting it up. It's been kind of throwing us off, stopping, cutting each one, putting it up. So we're gonna just go for like a straight cut, all of the posts and rails first, and then we're gonna try and just speed through getting it up. So we got all the sideboards cut all the way around, and now we are going to start cutting the rails for the top and the bottoms. We got through cutting these so much quicker than starting and stopping. So now we just have to do our longer boards, and then we're going to start installing, and hopefully that rolls just as fast and we get this whole entire thing done within the next hour. Can you guys believe that it is only like midday and we have the entire rails up for the deck? That is so amazing. After we pretty much cut everything and just started going full steam ahead, it's pretty much self-explanatory. If anyone's watching and trying to figure out how to build it, you basically have your post, and depending on the size of your deck, you're going to want to space them accordingly. And we have kind of 2 2x4s sandwiched at the top, and we also have the same thing going on at the bottom, 2 2x4s sandwiched at the bottom and also around the sides, kind of making it what we would call a picture frame on the inside of the post. We're now putting the handrail on, and I'm really excited. This looks so good. Words could not explain the instant gratification once you put that handrail on. It just finishes up the entire look, and I'm just so happy that it turned out this great. I can't wait to have it stained and to have our rebar in there for our spindles. I think that's going to really modernize it, and it is going to bring in that industrial material that I'm wanting it to have. So really impressed with Eric's mind and design, because he's been working on this for a few weeks, mapping out everything and measuring out everything, and this thing turned out really awesome. Looks perfect. The entire rail is on this side. It's so funny how as you're going, the more screws you put and the more parts you attach, you end up with a pretty solid rail. So I'm really happy that it all worked out for us, because this is a lot of money in wood and screws and a lot of time. We had one chance to get it right, and we pretty much did, and I'm really happy with the project. This is how far we got yesterday. We were able to get all the boards in with the exception of one piece. So today Eric is down at the bottom. He is cutting that wood and also cutting the rebar. So I'm gonna get working on trying to stain the rails. Now, I did want to point out something. Lowe's will not allow us to be great at all. During this entire project, we realized that we just got some of the worst cuts, and no matter how we flipped the board or what we did, we were just not getting a really clean piece. Now this is going to be the top of our rails, where our guests are going to relax and be able to take in the actual view. Specifically this corner, because this, when I stand here guys, I literally feel like Rose and Jack on the end of the Titanic. I literally just go into this corner and take in this entire view, and the sky, sunrises, sunsets is so beautiful. But I have a fix for that. I am going to be using this plastic wood. It's an all-purpose wood filler, and as you can tell, these boards, guys, are so warped. I just don't understand why Lowe's cannot get it right when it comes to wood. Our entire project, we have been running into issues where boards are so beat up, we have to either take them back or fill them. So I'm going to use this wood filler, and I'm going to try and fill in some of these gaps and just parts where the wood is really bad. I'm going to put it everywhere because I'm going to try and stain this really quick today and see if we can wrap up this entire wood project. Alright guys, so Eric is basically drilling out the holes for our spindles, which of course you guys know we are using rebar. He just got up here with the ones he cut, and so we are going to try them out and see if they fit and if they work out. So I'm going to have to obviously paint this before we can do that, but I was going around and I was filling all of the knots and creases with that paint filler, and it looks like it's pretty much drying. It's a color-coded quick dry, so when I put it on there it was pink, and now it's turning kind of like this peach white kind of color. So I think it's pretty much drying really quickly. I'm gonna get prepping to start staining this wood, so I'm gonna go get my materials. Hopefully I don't have to sand anything, but I'm really excited to see how the spindles turn out. Eric is actually spraying the rebar with this satin black spray. We didn't want to leave it plain and go with a rustic look and for it to start rusting, because sometimes the patina kind of wears off, and until that happens it's going to literally just be a mess every time it rains or someone touches it. So we are going to coat them in this black spray that is going to really transform this rebar into actual spindles, and I'm glad Eric's getting a head start and spraying them and letting them dry, so by the time I'm done we can stick them in there and really see what they look like. These are covering so well that they only need one coat, and that actually helps it to dry a little faster. Turning them has honestly been like the hardest part of doing the rebar. So you just want to roll everywhere.
Roll over.
Alright, so now that we have them transformed and painted, we're going to let them dry. We're going to move on to another project, and then we'll come back and we'll install these. So this job is going to be done really soon, and I can't wait because it's looking so good and I'm ready for it to be finished and we can actually move on to something else. Alright guys, so I have been holding out on you guys. I have been here the entire time painting, and I got the entire front section of the deck stained already, and also we sprayed the rebar black, so those should be dry by now. I think Eric is down cutting some more, and by the time he gets back up this should be dry, so we can actually try to insert a few of them and see what they look like. I still have the entire right section to paint, but I have been literally going hard in the paint trying to get this done, and I'm just gonna hurry up and get this thing painted and see if I can surprise Eric by the time he comes back up, because I don't think he even expected me to have all of this done. In case you guys are wondering, because I love this stain too, it is a solid color acrylic stain and sealer. I got it from Lowe's, and I think it was called Cordovan leather. It's really dark, but I love the contrast with the white dome. We are definitely going to have to give the deck another coat because we literally have been working really hard on top of this. All right, so Eric is back and we are going to at least fit the first spindles that we got cut and painted. We really want to make sure that this is the look that we're going for and that this is going to work. Guys, I'm super excited to see this. We went back and forth on what we would use for the spindles, and the rebar was something me and Eric both wanted to try out, but at first we had kind of a grid pattern. We even thought about using 2x4s, and we ended up settling on this because we wanted that mix of materials, like I said, and that industrial look. So they're all painted. They look so good. We just sprayed it with a satin black kind of spray paint sealer, and they turned out awesome. Oh wow. Do you like it? Good job, guys. Good job for changing your mind, because that looks way better. The other one was maybe probably too busy.
Too cattle over there, that's what I'm saying.
Too farmhouse-like. All right, guys, you got to see it first. I am so happy with the way it turned out. Like Eric said, the other option we had was going to be kind of a grid pattern. Everyone in the mountain seems to use it. I think its original purpose is for a cattle cage, and that offered too much of a farmhouse aspect. So we thought, because we are going for modern industrial here with a touch of boho chic, I could not even imagine that they would turn out this great. I love it. I love the black. I love all the darkness on the contrast with the white dome. I think it's going to look so good. Oh man, now I can't wait to get that side painted, and I cannot wait to get all of it painted and dried so that Eric can put the spindles in all of it. Just look at that. That is awesome. So that is a quick and easy and fairly inexpensive way to get some really modern looking spindles. And you guys see, we didn't do much of anything. We literally just kind of have a sandwich 2x4s together here. And this one doesn't have the spindle, so you can kind of see how Eric just drilled a hole in the middle of them. And then we took one side back off. That's the reason we only have 2 screws on this side. So it's easily to take off, and we kind of just undo it a little bit just so we can get the spindles in there, and then 2 screws pops it back together. And that was a simple, inexpensive, and easy way to get a modern twist on doing your deck. So love it. Can't wait to see it all in there. I got to get back to painting. This looks so good, guys. I'm so amazed. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, this is the perfect time to do so. We are literally getting into the build. We're almost up on Airbnb. I can't wait to see how we do, how much money we make, how much you guys love this property, and I hope everyone comes along for the drive.